When most Pokemon are leveled up by training or by other means, they're bound to learn new moves every once in a while. Technical moves, or TMs for short, are another way Pokemon can acquire new moves, and they can be obtained by being found in the wild or sometimes in shops. One key detail about TMs is that they are numbered, and as of Scarlet and Violet, there are currently up to 171 of them, though some might think that each numbered TM has a permanently assigned move throughout all the games. But what's interesting is that that's not the case. For example, TM41 in Gen 2 was Thunder Punch, but in Gen 3 it was a different move. In this video, I'll attempt to list all the changes for each TM. So I'm Shro, and this is the history of every TM in Pokemon. Let's dive in. TM1. In Gen 1 it was Mega Punch, in Gen 2 it was Dynamic Punch, in Gens 3 through 4 and BDSP it was Focus Punch, in Gens 5 through 6 it was Home Claws, in Gen 7 it was Work Up for the Alola games and Headbutt for the Let's Go games, in Gen 8 it was Mega Kick, and in Gen 9 it was Takedown. TM2. In Gen 1 it was Razorinn, in Gen 2 it was Headbutt, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Dragon Claw, in the Let's Go games it was Taunt, in Gen 8 it was Payday, and in Gen 9 it was Tron. TM3. In Gen 1 it was Swords Dance, in Gen 2 it was Curse, in Gens 3 through 4 and BDSP it was Water Pulse, in Gen 5 through the Alola games it was Psyshock, in the Let's Go games it was Helping Hands, in Gen 8 it was Fire Punch, and in Gen 9 it was Fake Tears. TM4. In Gen 1 it was Whirlwind, in Gen 2 it was Rollout, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Calm Mind, in the Let's Go games it was Teleport, in Gen 8 it was Ice Punch, and in Gen 9 it was Agility. TM5. In Gen 1 it was Mega Kick, in Gen 2 to the Alola games and BDSP it was Roar, in the Let's Go games it was Rest, in Gen 8 it was Thunder Punch, and in Gen 9 it was Mudslap. TM6. In Gen 1 to the Alola games and BDSP it was Toxic, in the Let's Go games it was Light Screen, in Gen 8 it was Fly, and in Gen 9 it was Scary Face. TM7. In Gen 1 it was Horn Drill, in Gen 2 it was Zap Cannon, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Hell, and in the Let's Go games it was Protect, in Gen 8 it was Pin Missile, and in Gen 9 it was Protect. TM8. In Gen 1 it was Body Slam, in Gen 2 it was Rock Smash, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Bulk Up, in the Let's Go games it was Substitute, in Gen 8 it was Hyper Beam, and in Gen 9 it was Fire Fang. TM9. In Gen 1 it was Takedown, in Gen 2 it was Psych Up, in Gens 3, 4, and BDSP it was Bullet Seed, in Gens 5 through the Alola games it was Shock, in the Let's Go games it was Reflect, in Gen 8 it was Giga Impact, and in Gen 9 it was Thunder Fang. TM10. In Gen 1 it was Double Edge, in Gen 2 through the Alola games it was Hidden Power, in the Let's Go games it was Dig, in Gen 8 it was Magical Leaf for Sword and Shield and Work Up for BDSP, and in Gen 9 it was Ice Fang. TM11. In Gen 1 it was Bubble Beam, in Gen 2 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Sunny Day, in the Let's Go games it was Will-O-Wisp, in Gen 8 it was Solar Beam, and in Gen 9 it was Water Pulse. TM12. In Gen 1 it was Water Gun, in Gen 2 it was Sweet Scent, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Taunt, in the Let's Go games it was Facade, in Gen 8 it was Solar Blade, and in Gen 9 it was Low Kick. TM13. In Gen 1, 3 through 7 and BDSP it was Ice Beam, in Gen 2 it was Snore, in the Let's Go games it was Break Break, in Gen 8 it was Fire Spin, and in Gen 9 it was Acid Spray. TM14. In Gen 1 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Blizzard, in the Let's Go games it was Fly, in Gen 8 it was Thunder Wave, and in Gen 9 it was Acrobatics. TM15. In Gen 1 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Hyper Beam, in the Let's Go games it was Seismic Toss, in Gen 8 it was Dig, and in Gen 9 it was Struggle Bug. TM16. In Gen 1 it was Payday, in Gen 2 it was Icy Wind, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Light Screen, in the Let's Go games it was Thunder Wave, in Gen 8 it was Screech, and in Gen 9 it was Psybeam. TM17. In Gen 1 it was Submission, in Gen 2 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Protect, in the Let's Go games it was Dragon Tail, in Gen 8 it was Light Screen, and in Gen 9 it was Confuse Ray. TM18. In Gen 1 it was Counter, in Gen 2 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Rain Dance, in the Let's Go games it was U-Turn, in Gen 8 it was Reflect, and in Gen 9 it was Thief. TM19. In Gen 1 it was Seismic Toss, in Gen 2 through 4 and BDSP it was Giga Drain, in Gen 5 it was Telekinesis, in Gen 6 in the Alola games it was Roost, in Let's Go it was Iron Tail, in Gen 8 it was Safeguard, and in Gen 9 it was Disarming. TM20. In Gen 1 it was Rage, in Gen 2 it was Endure, in Gen 3 the Alola games and BDSP it was Safeguard, in the Let's Go games it was Dark Pulse, in Gen 8 it was Self-Destruct, and in Gen 9 it was Trailblaze. TM21. In Gen 1 it was Mega Drain, in Gen 2 through the Alola games it was Frustration, in the Let's Go games it was Foul Play, in Gen 8 it was Rest for Sword and Shield and Dazzling Gleam for BDSP, and in Gen 9 it was Pounce. TM22. In Gen 1 through the Alola games and BDSP was Solar Beam, in the Let's Go games and Gen 8 was Rock Slide, and in Gen 9 was Chilling Water. TM23. In Gen 1 was Dragon Rage, in Gens 2 through 4 and BDSP was Iron Toe, in Gens 5 through the Alola games was Smackdown, in the Let's Go games was Thunder Punch, in Gen 8 was Thief, and in Gen 9 was Charge Beam. TM24. In Gen 1, 3 through the Alola games and BDSP was Thunderbolt, in Gen 2 was Dragon Breath, in the Let's Go games it was X Scissors, in Gen 8 was Snore, and in Gen 9 it was Fire Spin. TM25. In Gen 1 through the Alola games and BDSP was Thunder, in the Let's Go games it was Waterfall, in Gen 8 was Protect, and in Gen 9 it was Facade. TM26. In Gen 1 through the Alola games and BDSP was Earthquake, in the Let's Go games it was Poison Jab, in Gen 8 was Scary Face, and in Gen 9 it was Poison Tail. TM27. In Gen 1 it was For Sure, in Gen 2 through the Alola games it was Return, in the Let's Go games it was Toxic, in Gen 8 it was Icy Wind for Sword and Shield and Low Sleep for BDSP, and in Gen 9 it was Aerial Lace. TM28. In Gen 1 through 6 and BDSP was Dig, in Gen 7 it was Leech Life for the Alola games and Tri Attack for the Let's Go games, in Gen 8 it was Giga Drain, and in Gen 9 it was Bulldoze. TM29. In Gen 1 through the Alola games and BDSP was Psychic, in the Let's Go games was Scald, in Gen 8 was Charm, and in Gen 9 it was Hex. TM30. In Gen 1 it was Teleport, in Gen 2 through the Alola games and BDSP was Shadow Ball, in the Let's Go games it was Bulk Up, in Gen 8 it was Steel Wing, and in Gen 9 it was Snarl. TM31. In Gen 1 it was Mimic, in Gen 2 it was Mudslap, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP was Break Break, in the Let's Go games it was Fire Punch, in Gen 8 it was Attract, and in Gen 9 it was Metal Claw. TM32. In Gen 1 through the Alola games and BDSP was Double Team, in the Let's Go games it was Dazzling Gleam, in Gen 8 was Sandstorm, and in Gen 9 it was Swift. TM33. In Gen 1, 3 through the Alola games and BDSP was Reflect, in Gen 2 was Ice Punch, in the Let's Go games was Calm Mind, in Gen 8 it was Ray Dance, and in Gen 9 was Magical Leaf. TM34. In Gen 1 it was Bide, in Gen 2 it was Swagger, in Gen 3 through 4 and BDSP it was Shockwave, in Gen 5 through the Alola games was Sludge Wave, in the Let's Go games it was Dragon Pulse, in Gen 8 it was Sunny Day, and in Gen 9 it was Icy Wind. TM35. In Gen 1 it was Metronome, in Gen 2 it was Sleep Talk, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Flamethrower, in the Let's Go games it was Ice Punch, in Gen 8 it was Hail, and in Gen 9 it was Mudshot. TM36. In Gen 1 it was Self-Destruct, in Gen 2 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Sludge Bomb, in the Let's Go games it was Thunderbolt, in Gen 8 it was Whirlpool, and in Gen 9 it was Rock Tomb. TM37. In Gen 1 it was Egg Bomb, in Gen 2 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Sandstorm, in the Let's Go games it was Flamethrower, in Gen 8 it was Beat Up, and in Gen 9 it was Draining Kiss. TM38. In Gen 1 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Fire Blast, in the Let's Go games it was Thunder, in Gen 8 it was Will-O-Wisp, and in Gen 9 it was Flame Charge. TM39. In Gen 1 and 2 it was Swift, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Rock Tomb, in the Let's Go games it was Outrage, in Gen 8 it was Facade, and in Gen 9 it was Low Sweep. TM40. In Gen 1 it was Skull Bash, in Gen 2 it was Defense Crow, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Aerial Lace, in the Let's Go games it was Psychic, in Gen 8 it was Swift, and in Gen 9 it was Air Cutter. TM41. In Gen 1 it was Soft Boiled, in Gen 2 it was Thunder Punch, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Torment, in the Let's Go games it was Earthquake, in Gen 8 it was Helping Hand, and in Gen 9 it was Stored Power. TM42. In Gen 1 and 2 it was Dream Eater, in Gen 3 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Facade, in the Let's Go games it was Self-Destruct, in Gen 8 it was Revenge, and in Gen 9 it was Nightshade. TM43. In Gen 1 it was Sky Attack, in Gen 2 it was Detect, in Gen 3 and 4 it was Secret Power, in Gen 5 through the Alola games it was Flame Charge, in the Let's Go games it was Shadow Ball, in Gen 8 it was Break Break for Sword and Shield, and Full Switch for BDSP, and in Gen 9 it was Fling. TM44. In Gen 1 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Rest, in the Let's Go games it was Play Rough, in Gen 8 it was In Prison, and in Gen 9 it was Dragon Tail. TM45. In Gen 1 it was Thunder Wave, in Gen 2 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Attract, in the Let's Go games it was Solar Beam, in Gen 8 it was Dive, and in Gen 9 it was Venoshock. TM46. In Gen 1 it was Psywave, in Gen 2 through the Alola games and BDSP it was Thief, in the Let's Go games it was Fire Blast, in Gen 8 it was Weather Ball, and in Gen 9 it was Avalanche. TM47. In Gen 1 it was Explosion, in Gen 2 through 4 and BDSP it was Steel Wing, in Gen 5 through the Alola games it was Slow Sweep, in the Let's Go games it was Surf, in Gen 8 it was Fake Tears, and in Gen 9 it was Endure. TM48. In Gen 1 it was Rock Slide, in Gen 2 it was Fire Punch, in Gen 3 through 4 and BDSP it was Skill Swap, in Gen 5 through the Alola games it was Round, in the Let's Go games it was Hyper Beam, in Gen 8 it was Rock Tomb, and in Gen 9 it was False Switch. TM49. In Gen 1 it was Tri Attack, in Gen 2 it was Fury Cutter, in Gen 3 and 4 it was Snatched, In Gen 5 through the Alola games, it was Echo Voice. In the Let's Go games, it was Superpower. In Gen 8, it was Santum for Sword and Shield and Scald for BDSP, and in Gen 9, it was Sunny Day. TM50. In Gen 1, it was Substitute. In Gen 2, it was Nightmare. In Gen 3, through the Alola games and BDSP, it was Overheat. In the Let's Go games, it was Roost. In Gen 8, it was Bullet Seed, and in Gen 9, it was Rain Dance. That's all for Gens 1, 2, and 3. TM51. In Gen 4 and BDSP, it was Roost. In Gen 5, it was Ally Switch. In Gen 6 and the Alola games, it was Steelwing. In the Let's Go games, it was Blizzard. In Gen 8, it was Icicle Spear, and in Gen 9, it was Sandstorm. TM52. In Gen 4 through the Alola games and BDSP, it was Focus Blast. In the Let's Go games, it was Sludge Bomb. In Gen 8, it was Bounce, and in Gen 9, it was Snowscape. TM53. In Gen 4 through the Alola games and BDSP, it was Energy Ball. In the Let's Go games, it was Mega Drain. In Gen 8, it was Mudshot, and in Gen 9, it was Smart Strike. TM54. In Gen 4 through the Alola games and BDSP, it was False Swipe. In the Let's Go games, it was Slash Cannon. In Gen 8, it was Rock Blast, and in Gen 9, it was Slice Shock. TM55. In Gen 4 and 8, it was Brine. In Gen 5 through the Alola games, it was Scald. In the Let's Go games, it was Ice Beam, and in Gen 9, it was Dig. TM56. In Gen 4 through the Alola games and BDSP, it was Fling. In the Let's Go games, it was Stealth Rock. In Gen 8, it was U-Turn, and in Gen 9, it was Bullet Seed. TM57. In Gen 4 through the Alola games and BDSP, it was Charge Beam. In the Let's Go games, it was Payday. In Gen 8, it was Payback, and in Gen 9, it was False Swipe. TM58. In Gen 4 and BDSP, it was Endure. In Gen 5 through the Alola games, it was Skydrop. In the Let's Go games, it was Drill Run. In Gen 8, it was Assurance, and in Gen 9, it was Brick Break. TM59. In Gen 4 and BDSP, it was Dragon Pulse. In Gen 5 and 6, it was Incinerate. In Gen 7, it was Brutal Swing for the Alola games and Dream Eater for the Let's Go games. In Gen 8, it was Fling, and in Gen 9, it was Send Headbutt. TM60. In Gen 4 and BDSP, it was Drain Punch. In Gen 5 through the Alola games, it was Squash. In the Let's Go games, it was Mega Horn. In Gen 8, it was Power Swap, and in Gen 9, it was U-Turn. That's all for the Let's Go games. And that's the history of every TM in Pokemon so far. What are your thoughts? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to tackle that like button and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, see ya.